Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, I gotta admit, when I get up sometimes in the morning, I'm having a little trouble figuring out what I'm gonna vlog each day. Sometimes I get up and know exactly what I'm gonna do. For instance, tomorrow, I know exactly what I'm gonna do for tomorrow's vlog. But when I got up this morning today, the question was, what can I do? You know, the problem is I live in a small town now, and there really just aren't that many sightseeing attractions to go see, and there aren't really that many restaurants I can go see, and you know, I'm kind of quickly running out of ideas. I've kind of done most of the sightseeing things around Waco already, and you know, I don't want to do restaurant vlogs too often because you know, the quicker I run through all the restaurants, the quicker I run out of options. So I got up this morning, you know, and tried to figure out what I was going to do, and didn't really have much of an idea. Now, just to kind of put this, when I'm shooting this into like the timeline, you can understand, yesterday I posted the video about my search for bear claws. Now, I got some really good comments in the comments section about what I can do. Actually, there were two basic ideas that were repeated over and over again. One, the far and away the most frequent suggestion was that I should be hitting a bakery. And the truth is, I never thought about that. You know, I've never been one to really go into bakeries. Usually I get everything I need from a grocery store. And the second suggestion was that I could probably find a recipe online and make them myself. And that was a really good idea too. In fact, somebody even said I could find a recipe online, make it myself, and actually turn it into a vlog. Now that got the wheels spinning a little bit in my head. I realized that probably two of the most interesting and popular vlog topics I do are the restaurant review vlogs and my cooking vlogs. And it dawned on me, you know what? I bet you I could take those two ideas and mash them together into one topic. What I'm thinking I'm going to do, and I'm going to try this today, is I'm going to go find a recipe online that I think looks good, and I'm going to cook it, and I'm going to show you how I cook it, and then we're going to review it and tell you how it tastes. So I was digging through a website called allrecipes.com. I'll put the website of the particular recipe that I found in the description of this video, so you can try it out if you like it, or if you like what you see, and if I find out it's good. And I think I'm going to go do that. What I found is a recipe for paprika pork chops. It's paprika, and it's onions, and it's sauerkraut, and it looks really good, and it looks relatively simple to make. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to make paprika pork chops today. So come on, let's do this. This might be interesting. So I've reviewed the recipe, and there's a couple of ingredients that I'm going to need to get. So I got to make a run to the grocery store. I also kind of need a medium-sized skillet. I have a large skillet, but I think that's going to be too big. So I'm going to go try and find a medium-sized skillet also. So here we go. Now my local H-E-B has kind of an aisle with cooking utensils and stuff like that, but I decided instead to go to Target because I could probably find a better price for that skillet that I needed. And I think this is probably the one I'm going to go with. Okay, so before we start, let's kind of run through the ingredients here, what we're going to use. There's going to be 2 teaspoons of butter, so that's this. 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. I had to actually go buy some paprika today because I have paprika, but it's in my spice rack, which is in the storage locker. So it's going to be 1/3 cup of sour cream. I had sour cream left over from when I made the burritos before, but unfortunately it's gone bad, so I had to go buy some more. It's going to be 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I grind my own. 1 onion, thinly sliced. 1/3 cup of sauerkraut, and that we're going to drain that. 4 boneless pork chops, and 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. Now we're going to use the broiler for the first time on this oven. They recommend that what you do is you take the top rack and get it about 5 inches from the heating source, and that's the heating source right there for the broiler. So that's about 5 inches. If I were to go up to the next level here, that would probably be too close. So I'm going to leave it right there. It might be 6 inches, but I think that'll be fine. And then we're going to preheat the broiler. And we've set it for high, and then we're going to go into the start mode. Now the oven will begin heating up. Now the next step is we got to actually brown the we have to brown the onions on a low heat, and I could probably, what I could do is cut the onions up by hand. And I know everyone says that women like guys who cry because it shows they're sensitive, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to do things the easy way. We're going to chop up our onions in our food processor. So, sorry ladies. Alright, so we're going to melt the butter in the skillet on a kind of a medium heat. So since my oven ranges from 0 to 10, I'm going to set the heat on 5. And once we're done, once the butter is melted, we're going to just stir in the onions and saute them until they're kind of a golden brown color. And then we're going to just mix in the onions. And actually I misread the recipe. It isn't on a medium heat, it's on a medium-high heat. So I did increase the heat a little bit. And we're starting to cook it now a little bit. I can start hearing it simmer a little bit. And I think that pretty much does it for us. This says cook them until they're kind of a golden color, and they're starting to hit the golden color, and they're also nice and soft now. So it says take it off the heat. Alright, so now in a separate bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to mix together a half a teaspoon of paprika. Now you recall the recipe actually called for 1.5 teaspoons, so keep that straight. We're going to be using another teaspoon of paprika elsewhere in the recipe. So at this point, we're only going to put 1/3 of the total paprika in here. And then we're going to mix the sauerkraut, which we've measured 1/3 of a cup of that. We've kind of drained it a little bit too, so you get all the liquid out of there. We're going to mix the onions. Got a nice scraper here. Let's use the right tool, right? And we're going to mix 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. Once we get it all in there, we're just all going to kind of blend it all together. Mix it well just to make sure everything is kind of real mixed in well together. You want to get the paprika all mixed in there, the sour cream all mixed in there. And basically what's going to happen after this is this is going to end up we're going to broil the pork chops a little bit ahead of time with some of our special ingredients here. And then we're going to pull it out. We're going to place this mixture on top of it and then broil a little bit longer. So that looks about right. That's how it looks like. Looks like it should be. Everything's well mixed in there now. All right, so I prepared this ahead of time. Basically, what this is, it's a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon each of paprika and garlic salt. That's where the remainder of the paprika went. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to just coat the meat with this. So I'm going to put the meat onto my tray here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm basically just going to pinch this onto the surface of the meat. Kind of make sure you don't use it all up too quickly, because you want to kind of make sure you can coat both sides of it. Starting out a little bit not doing too much at the beginning, because I can always flip it over and put more on there if I need. Now I'm going to flip the meat over, do the other side. And then we'll just kind of spread what little is left across the rest of the meat. And now we're going to just broil the meat 6 minutes on a side. I keep forgetting my cookie tray here is a little deeper than the oven is, so I got to put it in sideways. And 6 minutes on a side. Then we'll flip it, we'll cook it another 6 minutes on the other side, and then we'll take it out and we'll prepare the rest of it. Alright, now we're going to flip the meat over. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I actually cook these a little bit longer than normal, because these pork chops are a little thicker than normal, and you don't want to undercook your pork chops. That's just not a very healthy thing. But they're starting to look really good. And now back into the oven for another 7 minutes. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. And now what we're going to do is we are just going to put some of our horseradish concoction, horseradish, onions, and paprika and sour cream concoction on all of this. I think I got a little bit more on here than I need, so I'm going to transfer some over here. Just kind of want to get it spread around properly here, so you don't have too much on one and not enough on the other, right? And back into the oven for 2 more minutes. All right, we're done. Let's see what this tastes like. Well, I'll tell you, it looks pretty good, and actually it smells really good too, so I'm actually looking forward to trying this. I'm going to let it sit for a little while because it's really, really hot right now. And sometimes when you let it sit a little bit when it comes out of the oven, it kind of absorbs a little bit of the flavor a little bit. So we're going to let it rest for a couple minutes, and then we'll try one out. Now, one of the added advantages of this is since I've made 4 of them and I'm just a single guy, I got 1 for dinner right now and 3 for the refrigerator. Can be nuked later, so I'll get 4 meals out of this. I hope it's good. All right, so let's give this thing a taste test. All right, initial impressions. It's actually really good. I'm thinking I might, just to mix it up a little bit and give it a little bit more zing, I might mix in like a little Tabasco sauce or something with the sauerkraut, the paprika, the onions, and the sour cream mixture. Now, as always, you got to kind of remember that, you know, if you're not really into sauerkraut's kind of an acquired taste, and if you're not really into that, this might not be the one for you. But what I've been doing, what I did on this recipe is I just kind of looked through and looked at the ingredients and saw stuff that I thought sounded good and it might be good together, and that was how I picked this. And in my case, I like this. It's really good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you're into the ingredients that are in it. Like I said, sauerkraut and onions. That's a bit of an acquired taste, but it is very tasty. I'm actually really impressed with it. So I think that's all I have for today's vlog. I want to thank Janet Matthews for her PayPal donation to me a few days ago during the live stream. And also I want to acknowledge Jeff Kidd for his Patreon donation. Thank you very much, both of you. I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit!